This is Stephanie, and this is the Mocha Minutes Podcast. Hey guys, before we get into the episode, I just want to let you know about something that's a little new here at the Mocha Minutes Podcast. We are now participating in Buy Me a Coffee. So if you haven't heard, buymeacoffee.com is a place where you can show some support and some love monetarily to some of your favorite content creators. That includes me. So it's in the increments of either $1, $3, or $5, and you can do as many as you would like. So I just wanted to let you guys know, would love some support. So if you would go to buymeacoffee.com/Mocha Minutes, I would greatly appreciate it. It will also be in the show notes. Okay, here we go. You must understand, oh, the touch of your hand makes my pulse react. That it's only the thrill of boy meeting girl, opposites attract. It's physical, only logical. You must try to ignore that it means more than that. What's got to do with it? What's but a second-hand emotion? What's got to do with it? Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? Hello, welcome to the Mocha Minutes Podcast. I am Stephanie. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh. Rest in power, rest in heaven to the Queen, Anime Bullock, aka the Tina Turner. The documentary for Tina Turner is out on HBO Max, and it was kind of heavy. I will say that, because everyone was like, hey, it was a good life. And she was just like, no, it was she was very vocal and very honest about the fact that life was a little bit lifing and it was hard. And all of the good that I think we saw did not outweigh the trauma that she had in her life. She made it to 83, but still, she was honest about her life. She, of course, is like, she's done amazing things and she is an icon, but she was still very much honest about how hard it kind of was. And not kind of, how hard it was. But yeah, just, it was a lot. It just was a lot. And I'm glad that she was so honest about that. But rest in power, Tina Turner. Her soul can rest, her body can rest. And love to her family. So I'm solo dolo today because this girl. So when I tell you, outside of Housewives, there's a lot that's going on the Bravos. But the one that the two that I've been paying attention to most is Summer House and Pump Rules. The Pump Rules reunion kicked off last night. Today, it's Thursday morning when I'm recording this. Kicked off last night. If you really want to get the tea, definitely watch it. But on Peacock, they got what's called pumped up versions of the reunion. So it's just a few more minutes. I think together it says 56 minutes on Peacock. And of course, it's an hour-long episode. So that's about, when it's on regular television, about 45 minutes, 45, 47 minutes. When you think about commercials, Peacock does have commercials. At most, it's probably like 45 seconds, to a minute or less. So definitely, I'm going to be watching the pumped up. First impression of the reunion, My top three things. I have a lot of thoughts, but top three things about the Punk Rules reunion. Um, the only person that I'm like that I for me for just for me that literally can literally tell Sandoval to suck a dick is Ariana. She is the one where it's like, as one, she is the one who is chiefly being has been harmed in this whole scandal of it all. So she says, shut the fuck up and suck a dick. I'm not questioning her. The folks that want to use this to leapfrog and alley oop and, throw layups against Sandoval. Yeah. I'm having a little bit trouble with y'all. Most notably, um, at first it was like, it was Lala and James. But when I think about it, um, James and Sandoval were relatively very close. And I think I can understand James's issue with Tom, right? I can understand it. The however comma for me is that he didn't break y'all up. It's kind of like so that's why I'm kind of like keep going off to Ariana is the one that really should be like digging in this man's ass. Lala, let me say this. I want to know why that role in this beautiful being footage about Lala and how she used to basically make it like give the impression that everybody should just be so jealous of because her life with Randall. And now she's saying he is dangerous and he's a narcissist. And he's a horrible piece of shit. Baby, he was that when y'all were together and you were giving BJs to be in the PJ. Or making it seem like y'all just jealous about my life, or it's just very, very weird to me. So it's like, yeah, I'm not going to do the alley oop because even Katie and Sheena, they weren't all that vocal because one, it wasn't about them. And I think that's the issue. It bothered me a little bit that Lauren, we were calling her Rachel, but I was call her Lauren, but I'll call her Lala. That's fine because I don't mind her digging in Sandoval's ass. But it was just like, this isn't about you. You're talking about, it's like, girl, shut up. It's not about you. But yeah, Sandoval and James, I'm sorry, Lala and James using this is like, James had a whole lot to say. I'm like, you would have thought that he broke you and Raquel up. And when he got up and came towards him, I was just like, boy, you better sit down. Sandoval looked like he could fight. Not saying that James could not, but if I was like, thinking about who would win in the fight, I'm sorry, I'm giving it to Sandoval. But the thing about it is that I don't want to say punks jump up to get beat down, but that's kind of what it gave me. But I don't think it would have been I don't think it would be like a bloodbath of Sandoval's dog walking him. I feel like he would just kind of win the fight if we're taking scores for cards, right? The other one is that Schwartz trying to tiptoe away from this is not cool because you asked Ariana outside of Sandoval to be a groomswoman in your wedding, meaning she is your friend. If you knew that they hooked up in August, she's your friend, dude. It is not bros before hoes if Ariana is also your friend. You didn't ask her to be in it because she's Sandoval's partner. So for you to sit here and make it seem like y'all not friends, and the fact that she's like, we are no longer friends because I can't be friends with nobody like that. It's like, I don't blame her. But it's like, Sandoval, you're her friend. Why are you acting like, oh my, I'm lumped in together? Sir, if you have known since the first time they hooked up, you should, like, one, if you really did care about Ariana, you should have dug in Sandoval's ass and said, let me tell you something. If you do not tell her, I'm going to tell her. It should have been that line in the sand. But again, it is what it is. Katie, and then Sports get involved with Katie and how she navigates her friendships. Sir, shut up. Just be quiet. No one's talking to you. Because one, it's not that he didn't have a point. It's just this does not concern you, Thomas. Back down. And also, Katie, here's the thing. She never said he was lying. because she didn't, because he wasn't lying. Um, it's just it wasn't his, like, basically saying he was out of pocket. Um, the fact that Shishu, Machina Shea, um, she came out. Sorry, she basically owned the fact that she was dead ass wrong all season. She's like 1,000%. I was wrong. A lot of people don't do that. They're like, nope. I look back and I was totally wrong the entire season. Sheena owned up to that. I have to give her snaps for that. I'm like, the thing about it is like, I am a Sheena Shea fan, and everybody kind of knows that about me. The fact that I was like, now the whole season, I'm like, girl, my girl embarrassing me, girl. My girl embarrassing me, girl. That's the whole time I felt. I was like, oh, she embarrassing me. And the fact that she literally said 1,000% I was wrong. I was wrong. She just said she was wrong. She can't do anything other than that. I mean, she could. She could do other stuff. But at minimum, I was dead ass wrong. And hopefully in part 2, we actually do see her apologizing to Katie. I'm not even really a Katie fan. I'm a fan of her digging in Tom, like a bitch ass named Tom's ass. I'm a fan of her when she does that. Especially her ex-husband. Sir, be quiet. Be fucking for real. Be quiet. Okay? Just be quiet. Thanks. Thanks. Thank you for your services. You can shut the fuck up. You know what actually is kind of funny? We're talking about cast members that may or may not be invited back. Let me just be very clear. One of those people literally could be Lisa Vanderpump. Lisa does not, the thing about it, I don't know what I would do if the people that I really truly care about, this happened. I don't know if I would have came to the reunion. I don't think Lisa's never missed a reunion. And the 10 years that we have had Pump Rope, I don't think she's ever not been at a reunion. I think this would have been the one that I've been like, no, like I love them both and I'm stepping out of this. Let's be very clear. The Toms are her business partners. So you don't see her not going against, but leaving her out high and like her business partners out high and dry. You don't really see that. I was not surprised on her stance. But the fact that Lauren from Utah was like, I didn't ask for your opinion. Check that. Because one, I think Lisa needs to back off and just let them handle it. Girl, please. But also, Lauren need to back down. Girl, stop grandstanding on this and say, you are not a moral compass. You're not a moral compass. You're not. You're not. You're not. Just want to put that out there. The fact, again, when Tom was trying to bring out those crocodile tears, they're like, bitch, shut up. When I tell you, I was like, on one hand, like it's not equal. It's more like, well, 70% of me is like, girl, I'm loving it. The 30% of me is just like, if you're not going to let him talk, what the fuck is he doing at the reunion? A reunion's where y'all get everything out. Everything. We got it. You wanted to hear him talk. Baby, you got to let him talk. That's one period. And again, that's why I said 70-30. Yeah, 70% of me is very petty when it comes to Tom Sandoval. Bitch, shut up. Shut the hell up. Raquel watching the reunion was bothering me because she was just sitting there. I'm like, girl, why are you showing me what she's doing? This is only the first part, child. The last thing I want to discuss is the sit downs before. It was upsetting me and my homegirl for several different reasons. Now you had part of it is like apparently you sat down in one-on-one. Maybe we're gonna see more of it in the other sections, but it bothered me a little bit to watch because of one thing. On a Watch What Happens Live episode, Andy grilled Robin 11 minutes straight. I mean, it went all the way up into the commercial break, back to back to back to back questions. She answered them. All of her answers were not what everybody wanted to hear. And the bad part about it is, I'm like, let me just say this. When they talk about, I'm like, why would she answer the questions? I'm like, because she literally gave the answers that she was told. When you have a partner, you're trying to like, I'm gonna give him the benefit of doubt. This is what he told me. That don't make no sense. That doesn't mean that's not what he told her. I'm pretty sure that is what he told her. Kind of like before Ariana said the same thing. I know it probably don't make sense to y'all, but if he giving me an answer, I gotta follow it because I want to be a supportive partner. Kind of the same thing. He grilled her. And then I'm watching you not really grill Sandoval. Maybe we'll see more with Raquel. Maybe we'll see more of the maybe we'll see more. But it did kind of bother me that you gave more fever to Robin than you did to Tom and Raquel. That kind of bothered me. It was like, wait a minute, hold up. You still kind of softballing it in. And the thing about it is, let's be very clear, Sandoval's a piece of shit. What he did to Ariana, instead of saying what happened to her, I'm like, what happened? Sir, it's what you did. It's not what happened. Okay? It was kind of whack to me. Also, the fact that y'all have security at this place and Andrew Cohen is still hopping up, like, whoa, sit your ass down. And I'm like, I could have sworn Andy was somewhat tall. Maybe he's under 6 feet. I'm not exactly sure, but I thought he was a little like close to 6 feet. Maybe he's not. But the fact that he is getting up to prevent James Kennedy from putting his hands on Tom Sandoval is actually wild to me. I'm like, why is Sandy always getting? Let me tell you something. Let me go get that Italian lady up in Jersey to throw you around like a rag doll. I'm sorry. That's that moment of Teresa literally pushing him down because I think he wasn't expecting her to do that cracks me up every time I think about it. So the first part of the reunion for Pump Rules gave. I'm gonna watch the pumped up set. I'm gonna watch the pumped up episode, and I think I'm gonna be recording with Zell. We're gonna talk more about this, but those are just my preliminary thoughts. Okay, so Jersey. So one, that hair was very much like, whose idea was this? But I feel like Teresa had an idea in her mind, and her hairdresser was just like, we just gonna put hair on top of hair on top of hair. I thought it was a beautiful ceremony, even with the hair. The thing about it is like watching her walk down the aisle with the hair. I'm like, the pictures we saw before made it seem like bigger, but when she was walking down, it didn't look as big. It's still big, but it was just like, what, girl? The bridesmaids dresses were beautiful. Louis' dad is kind of fine. It's like, oh, look, distinguished gentleman with this white hair. Go ahead, honey. He's very handsome man. I think it's he has beautiful family. I think it was a beautiful ceremony. The cameos of housewives, I was not prepared for. Like, I knew Kenya was there because she did Ultimate Girls Trip. But I was very interested to see Dorinda because I'm like, Dorinda's? It's like, oh, okay. Phaedra, I wasn't surprised because I'm like, wait, was Phaedra on the girls' trip with her? She wasn't like, that's why he's in the island, baby. She wasn't. She was at Dorinda's house. So I was like, Phaedra is here. Chanel Ayan, who was on she literally barely knew her. And she got an invite. This still cracks me up. Because it was just like cameos. You saw Ashley, because I remember Ashley doing her stories about being up there. So, and to see the Cuban Barbie from Miami, not surprised by that. I'm wondering who else was there. It was just like, it just seemed like a fun party. I'm like, having a burlesque show was just very interesting to me, but I feel like I didn't see any children. So I feel like that's fine. Like, I feel like if this was not, because I don't know if it was explicitly said that this was a child-free wedding. And as someone, even though I love kids, I can understand why people were like say, yeah, no, don't bring your kids here. Like it's a child free wedding. I get it. Um, it's like do whatever you need to do at your wedding. If you want kids there, great. If you don't want kids there, also great. See how that works. But I thought it was very interesting. That's what you wanted. And I get it when everybody talks about Louis. Louis seemingly gives off icky vibes. Here's the thing: does he give it off? Yeah, kind of. But I also think the effervescence on Teresa's face being with Louis is what gives me pause. Because I'm like, it's like she's very happy. And even though she was with Joe all that time, I never got that look on her face. But again, we got Joe and Teresa when they were 3 kids in. So there's that, because Melania was the youngest. Okay. So watching the ceremony, which I was very surprised. At first, I was surprised that they only did like 1 episode for Teresa, but part of me is just like, she's the cornerstone of Jersey. It should be like a spinoff, but maybe she didn't want to do it, or maybe they didn't have enough film to do like a multi-episode arc. That could also be that as well. So Joe and Melissa did not tell her that they weren't coming. Teresa heard that from Dolores. Melissa said during, oh God. Melissa said during the after show, why didn't she reach out to us? I'm like, you didn't even have the decency to tell Teresa you were not coming to her wedding, but you wanted her to call. What'd you want her to do? Call and cuss you out? Because I think I would have been pissed. I don't think she should have. I'm like, you could just be like, after everything that happened, like last night, you know what? I don't think we're not gonna make it. Like, just say you're not coming. I feel like that's fine. I don't think anybody's gonna. No, I do blame you for not coming. Let's be very clear. I do blame you. You should have showed up. You and Teresa were not cool in no way, shape, or form, and she still came to her nephew's christening. Y'all were not cool back then. Joe v. Joe was a real thing. And the person that was making a scene at the christening was not Teresa and Joe. It was Joseph Gorga, or Giuseppe Gorga. I think his name is Giuseppe, which is interesting. You know who I also thought was interesting, who wasn't at the wedding, and I didn't see him anywhere, and I was surprised by that. Well, actually, I wasn't surprised by that because he is very close. I didn't see Frank Catania Sr. I saw Junior and Jennifer Fessler. You my bitch, because it was so funny. Are you single? Where's your phone? Oh, wait, I'm gonna put your daughter's numbers in her. Jeff Fessler, can I be your daughter for 1 second? You see a fine ass man when you somewhere, say, are you single? Where's your phone? I love it. Something about Jen Fessler I love. Let's talk about the Margaret in the room, shall we? Margaret was like, I don't want this to be about me. But yet you kept talking about your feelings and how you felt. Margaret, if you felt so bothered by coming to, like, you feel like you felt uneasy about the wedding, then you should not have come. Leaving the wedding early, you shouldn't have came to the reception. You should have not came. I'm gonna say that. You shouldn't have come. Don't say that, oh my God, I feel so bad. Joe should be here. Yeah, let's be very clear, Margaret. He wasn't uninvited. Melissa was not uninvited. They did not come. They chose not to be there. Louis and Teresa did not call them and say, don't you fucking show up. They just did not show up. That is not on Teresa and Louis, and they are not a victim here. You literally just did not show up, and they were going like, we said, like, I'm sorry. The after show is what got me, is them talking about it. Melissa acting like they were exiled and they had to spend the day together. Bitch, y'all just did not show up. Stand up in that. You chose not to be there. If you feel like you did the right thing, then why are you doing this? No one stopped you from being there. You stopped yourself. Ma'am, you just didn't show up. And that literally is going to hurt. That's going to hurt Teresa. That's going to hurt your parents. Because I'm wondering if your parents were still here, would you or would you have not shown up? I actually kind of don't know if you would. Actually, no, scratch that. You would have shown up if your parents were still alive. How about you start pretending that your parents are watching you? Keep doing that. Okay. Margaret, shut the hell up. It was just kind of like, what? The fact that Jackie of all people said, do not leave this wedding, do not leave early. Like, don't do this, don't make this about you. And the fact that Jackie is the one saying that, and she is not even all that cool with Teresa. I think they're cordial, and that's that. Because she also, Jackie Goldsnyder was also at the wedding. So was Jen Fessler. Jen Fessler had to leave because Margaret was her ride. I'm like, y'all bitches ain't rich. You can't just do a fucking Uber. Like, girl, I would call an Uber so quick. But the thing about it is, because Jen wasn't like friends with Teresa, it made sense for her to leave with her ride. So it was like, on one hand, I'm like, I kind of get why she left. But the fact that she apologized the next day to Teresa, because Teresa confirmed it, because Jen Fessler said, the fact that she apologized, said, I'm so sorry for leaving. And Teresa, now, because one, Teresa was not mad at Jen. I don't think she was. I think she was upset that people, like basically those two left. But I think it's more towards Margaret than anything. So it's like, Margaret, you're doing all this grandstanding. The fact that they did this at the rehearsal dinner and nobody wanted to really show Teresa, and she's like, it's fine. Here's the thing. Y'all put that nail in the coffin because y'all decided just not to show up, and then y'all decided to be petty on the timeline and then go, well, I mean, what do you expect us to do? Act like fucking adults. That's what we ask you to do. That's what you could do. But you didn't, because you're an ass. See how that works? Joseph, Melissa, y'all made the wrong mistake, and y'all trying to actually sit here and justify that. It's like, no, own up to the fact that you should have shown up. You just should have. That's it. The end. I sound like that little girl on SVU. Now, let's talk Summer House finale. Very, 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 very interesting to watch. When Gabby was on Watch What Happens Live, she was on Watch What Happens Live in February. We are in May. We are in May. She said, so this is about 2 months ago. She was on Watch What Happens Live with Danielle, and she said, and the question was, who do you think has the most to answer for the reunion? And Gabby said Danielle. She was sitting right next to her when she said it. And ever since then, I'm like, Gabby ain't been wrong yet. She has been saying that since then. And I'm like, girl. So the fact is, like, when I watch Summer House, I don't usually use the hashtag. I don't sometimes I look at the comments, but I've been intrigued in the last few weeks to look at the hashtag and see what people are saying. The fact that a lot of people were just like, Daniel, what the fuck are you talking about? Is like crazy to me. What also is crazy is people going, Lindsay is evil. She is terrible, friend. I'm like, oh my God, Daniel. I'm like, wait a minute, time out. Have y'all been watching this show? I binged, shout out to Oh No Chelsea. 3 or 4 seasons of Summer House before I got on the train because this was in the pandemic. Is it 3? It may have been 3. Hmm. Because I was so confused about the Loverboy comments because I didn't know what it was because I didn't watch Summer House, right? I watched all these seasons and then, just perused the hashtag and people did not like Lindsay. And I was like, why her? I'm like, I kind of like her and I didn't know why. Come to find out, we both have the same birthday. I feel like even if we didn't have the same birthday, I probably would fuck with her, but that's neither here nor there. It turned into Lindsay is a mean girl. And I think because I was watching Summer House Fresh and I was just like, she ain't the unicorn in that house, by the way. Neither here nor there. And the thing about it is that outside of Lindsay, Danielle really didn't seemingly have any real strong friendships with anybody in the house. So if there was no Lindsay to film with, who was Danielle filming with? Who was her in? What was her connection to the Summer House outside of Lindsay? I still haven't found it yet. So all of this season, we have watched Danielle be not that vocal. So when they got together and got engaged, I was like, let me see what Danielle's saying. And then we all noticed that Danielle was very quiet. I'm like, are they not cool? And then you find out that they kind of aren't cool. And it's like, oh, well, this is interesting. BravoCon comes around. People are just like, what's going on? It's like, it's unfortunate. That's the thing. They stopped filming in early September because I think Memorial Day is like the last weekend that they film. BravoCon was not that long after. So it was kind of still fresh and new. And then Danielle and Robert broke up in December. Looking at this season, it was just very much like, girl, what the fuck am I looking at? Because Danielle was being super weird. But because people didn't like Lindsay, people were giving her the benefit of the doubt. I'm always going to sit here with this. If Lindsay was doing what Danielle was doing, everybody would said that Lindsay was a complete asshole and how dare you try to make this about you. So I don't understand why people who are like, oh my God, Lindsay, why aren't you thinking about her feelings? Wait a minute. If the shoe was on the other foot, y'all would look at Lindsay and saying, why are you being so fucking selfish? Because essentially, let's be very clear, that's what the fuck Danielle is doing. And it's so sad because I like Danielle. Danielle seems like the person I would want to go on vacation with. There's a lot of people in Bravo, not a lot, but there's a few people in Bravo that I'm like, if I see them, that's the bitch that I want to go on vacation with. Okay. I'm like, that is going to be my vacation buddy. Danielle Oliveira is that person. I would love to go on vacation with Danielle. She seems like she's fun, right? So to watch her all season, I'm like, I need her to understand something. So let me play something because it's very much like, girl, what? So let's hold on one second. Let's share something, shall we? So here is one thing that I want people to hear out of Danielle's own mouth when it comes to this whole engagement. And remember, she was walking around the party very upset. Yeah, before the engagement happened, this is what she said.
I'd rather not come next weekend if that's what's going on.
I believe it's going to happen.
Well, okay, cool. They could live happily ever after.
Listen again.
I would much rather not come next weekend if that's what's going on.
I believe it's going to happen.
Well, okay, cool. They could live happily ever after.
So, just if y'all were not paying attention, the rumblings in the house was that Carl may propose. Now, Danielle had this conversation with Maya and Samantha. She literally said, if that's what happens, I don't even want to be here. Fast forward to when the engagement actually happened. She was walking around the party talking to Lindsay's friends and saying, can you believe this? I didn't when did you find out? When did you find out? And I'm glad a couple of her friends were like, girl, what the hell is wrong with you? Why are you talking to me about this? And like, this isn't about you. So Danielle, you cannot say to two people saying, if he's doing, I don't even want to be, you don't even want to be in the Hamptons if he's proposing. But then you're upset that you weren't included. You didn't even want to be here for that. When Carl mentions to you, I'm looking for rings, you pick up a pillow and scream into it. Again, why do you think you should be entitled to be there? It's the entitlement for me. And then and it sucks because I like Danielle, but with this, she was wrong. And you're weighing the thing about it is because she had all the other women in the house being team Danielle is wild to me. Ma'am, you she was so out of pocket. When I was looking at this whole situation for the whole season and watching how Danielle was moving, it made me think of Sex in the City, where Miranda and Carrie had an argument. And in the middle of the argument, Carrie said to her, I can't be single for you. Danielle, she cannot be in a horrible relationship for you because it'll make you feel a little bit better about the fact that you too are in a relationship that was no longer serving you and was not doing well. When literally Lindsay suggested, hey, let's do double dates, she's like, I don't want to do that. I just want to go back to what we had. I'm like, oh, girl, you are in a committed relationship. You technically have been with Robert longer than Lindsay and Carl have been together romantically. Why wouldn't you want to go on double dates? You didn't want that. It's very interesting because let's add in the fact that Carl was just not Lindsay's boyfriend. Carl was also allegedly your friend. And if your friend who seemingly does not seem happy for you actually taking a next step with your other friend, that does not say a lot about Lindsay. That says a lot about you. That doesn't say a lot about Carl. It says a lot about you. But I will give her this. The way that Robert went to go talk to Carl is the exact thing that Lindsay wanted Carl to do when he talked to Danielle. Robert didn't make that about himself. He spoke up in support of Danielle, even though Danielle was bald-faced wrong. I still appreciated that he did exactly what Danielle had asked Carl to do. The house was literally giddy. And the thing about they'll say I wasn't happy. I'm like, yeah, but y'all were still kind of listening. That shit was not cool. And like, that's right. Watch the dissolution. And the thing about it is you were actually talking about people who literally don't fucking like her. Carl has been in arguments with people, most notably Danielle, Sierra, maybe Paige. You see people still running to Carl. I'm sorry, not Carl. Kyle. Sorry, I said Carl. I meant Kyle. Like early in the season when he was like got up and left, people went to go find him. They were trying to, oh, Kyle, calm it down, girl. Nobody ever does that for Lindsay. They say she's dead ass wrong for how she feels. Here's the thing. Let me give you a tip about a Leo. When we are done and we are done, there ain't nothing you can fucking say. When I'm at, like, the thing about it is when you've reached a point where it's like, let me walk away from you, we are done, done with it. I was today's years old when I remembered that the reason why that thing happened with Jackie on that island with Buffy is because Jackie's a fucking Leo. I was like, why did I not recognize that before? Done with it. I'm like, I'm not doing this shit with you. She was still wrong, by the way. She should just apologize. That was a terrible apology. But it was such Leo fucking behavior that is like wild to me. Also, what Lindsay did was she was just like, she was very nonchalant. She was like, girl, because she was done. When you are done, you're done. That's also a Leo thing. I'm just sitting here like, girl, I don't care about any of this. Girl, whatever you want to do. Yeah, I thought we were too, girl. I'm not, like, the thing about it is you wanted to be about her feelings, and because y'all don't like Lindsay, that's why a lot of people are going like, Lindsay, how could you not care about her feelings? Did she care about my feelings? Did she care about Carl's feelings? Because she damn sure didn't. She didn't. And the thing about it is like, when they were having an argument and then Danielle started crying, Lindsay automatically just went, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'll be a better friend. Like she just stopped. She put her shit on pause to be that bitch's friend. Also, Danielle, out of her own face, has said Lindsay is not a bad friend. She's been a very good friend. I'm like, okay, so girl, what the hell is happening? Baby, what is it? I said, baby, what is it? Because I need to understand, like, honey, you are not making sense. And she is just not. It's like she's not making sense. She's not making sense. She's not making sense. It's like, what did you want her to say? Also, it's for y'all, right? Because Danielle talking about y'all moving too fast and, you know, you're putting him first. And yeah, let's add another clip, shall we? Let's add another one.
Is what is it? 80 hours a week?
Sometimes more.
What is the thing you've actively done?
Yeah, how did you guys figure it out?
Work through it.
I work remotely, so what I do is make our home everywhere he goes.
Yeah, and that's what she's been really, very good at.
All right.
So let's be very clear. Danielle is going wherever Robert is. Robert does not live in New York anymore. He works somewhere else. So how exactly did Lindsay drop Danielle if Danielle made her life with Robert a priority, which is totally fine. And Lindsay never questioned that. Also, by the by, Danielle only knew Robert 2 months and moved in with him. Lindsay and Carl have known each other for years before they got together. So it's kind of like, you know, also, it's like, girl, absolutely not. It's not the same thing. It's sad to watch because the thing about it is that Danielle, you wanted Carl to make your feelings a priority. You didn't with him. You wanted Lindsay to make your feelings a priority, but you want to go talk to her with women in that house who don't fucking like her. Does anybody remember when Kyle cheated on Amanda? Literally cheated on Amanda. People still weren't icing him the fuck out and said he ain't shit. Y'all still were around there and smiling in that man's face. Y'all gave more support to Kyle than you ever did to Lindsay. But Lindsay's the one who's not a girl's girl. It's just sad to me. It really is. The thing about it is their relationship repairable? The optimist in me says yes. But that will require more work from Danielle. I'm just going to say that. Danielle, you were so out of pocket, and I'm so disappointed. Lindsay cannot be in a sucky ass relationship to make you feel better. Because when you're in stuff, when you're in the middle of stuff that is sludge, you want anything to distract you. Danielle and Robert's relationship was not perfect, but it also was not very good because they weren't spending a lot of time with each other. That does not mean that Lindsay need to be in a terrible, terrible relationship when she got to asking about sandwiches. You're not spending time. Don't give me no fucking PowerPoint, any of this. She can't be in a terrible relationship to distract you from your seemingly terrible relationship. I don't think a relationship was terrible. I think it just was no longer serving the both of them. And Danielle made Robert a priority, but it didn't seem like Robert was making Danielle a priority. And that has to be a punch to the gut. Also, I think the look that you see on Lindsay's face is because Other people have been coming to her about what Danielle has been doing. Not only her friends from the party, but I'm pretty sure Samantha also told her what Danielle said. Lindsay has been activated for quite some time on this show. When she does not say anything, they're like, oh my God, it's like, why are you? I'm like, because y'all used to her yelling and like being activated. I think if she truly cares about somebody, she doesn't. But also, let's be very clear. Lindsay Hubbard works in PR. She knows what the PR would look like. But also, if I am done with you in a friendship and it was like, I can't move forward with you, I can't do this with you anymore, yeah, I'm not going to give you too much energy. Because if I do, I'll be disappointed in myself. Last thing I'm going to say about Summer House is the whole Maya and Oliver of it all. Now, again, another time I'm going to mention Robin Dixon. I cannot believe I'm not mentioning her again. Or also I can mention Candy Burst. People are talking about how the whole thing with Robin, the grand opening, grand closing, the situation happened before cameras even started rolling on the season. But to be fair, and I have to be fair about this. I'm like Brandon, I got to be fair. The whole thing about the rumors about Wendy and her husband were not during cameras rolling. So the thing about it, at first I was like, cameras were not even rolling. It's like, but to be fair, y'all brought up the shit about Wendy and that didn't happen during filming. So let me be honest and like, nope, fair point, right? Maya literally did not want her situation with Oliver on camera. Told this man to put his hand on his mic. Pulled him into a bathroom because she knew they don't film in the bathroom. And I didn't see too many people going, no, oh, hey, no. We want authenticity. We mention it all. Mention it all. None of that ever came up. I think that's funny to me. It's funny to your girl that y'all not coming after Maya about that. Also, Maya, this is a reality show. If I hear like the whole authenticity, we don't see it the whole life. Let's be very clear. We didn't even get a rumbling that Oliver was cheating on her with multiple women until she said, "Don't watch What Happens Live," which was like, wait, what? We're not together because he cheated. I'm like, wait, what? But then on the show, we didn't really see it either. You don't get to be, and I get it. It's like the thing about it is, again, sometimes things just like, let me add the nuance to that because I'm up 2 months. On one hand, I get it. I'm like, girl, no, we're gonna have this conversation. But on the other hand, honey, I would have put a pin in it until the cameras were fucking down. Girl, keep it cute. Keep the cameras go down to X hour. That's exactly what would have happened. I wouldn't have said anything else. But to watch her actively say, I'm going to cover my mic. Girl, what is happening? Nope, it's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. When the reunion happens, it's probably going to be a lot of shit that is going to go down at this reunion. Let me say this. If you are the one to end our friendship, you don't get to sit in my face and say, how could you not care? Baby, you just told me we over. Baby, you just told me the door is closed. I'm not coming at you to fix shit. I'm not. Again, now I'm getting fucking activated. I'm getting activated. Mocha activated. Woo down. Sorry, I've been watching Legend of Korra. And that last season with Prince Wu and him learning to fight, and he was like, woo down. I'm sorry. I love that character. I don't know why. Comic relief that I didn't need. But yeah, this is Mocha activated. And I'm sorry, I'd have cussed Danielle clean the fuck out. It's like, ma'am, we're not talking about your feelings. This ain't about you. You walked around this house and was gabbing with people who don't fucking like me, who are not in our corner. The only people who seemingly were happy about the engagement was Kyle. Kyle, who literally started this summer with an issue with Lindsay, said the reason why Carl is like this is because of Lindsay. And then you're showing Carl has never been that bitch. Carl's the one who didn't want to come back to the summer house. Lindsay made him come back. Carl's the one who wanted to cover the cameras while he packed. She said, girl, stop. Girl, we saw a producer come out of nowhere. I'm like, producer? Now we breaking the fourth wall on shit. And Kyle, again, another Leo thing. I could be mad as fuck as you. Mad as fuck at you. Sorry. When you need me, I'm activated. I'm like, what you need me to do? That's also a Leo trait. So it's very two different Leos, both, I believe, in August, because I think Kyle and Lindsay's birthdays are, me, Kyle, and Lindsay's birthdays are close. I think his birthday is a few days between Lindsay. I think it's a few days before Lindsay's, if I'm not mistaken. Both in August. You don't get to tell me I'm done with you and then go, why are you like, and then you in the ground crying and people come into like nobody went to go check on Lindsay. They didn't. Maybe Gabby, maybe, or maybe Samantha, one of them. They all coddled Danielle because let's be very clear, honey, one of those people threw a whole glass full of wine at you after they brought you into an argument. Sierra said, you too, TWO. That. A lot of those people don't fucking like you, but they dislike Lindsay more. And the thing about it is like, I like Danielle. Danielle seems super cool. She handled this poorly. We all do this. There have been times where I have handled situations poorly. And it's like, I regret the way that I handle it. But as an adult, I had to suck it up. And it sucks because you don't want to suck it up. It's like, God damn it, I got to suck up. That was a piece of shit. Terror. There's no way I would have treated my best friend the way that Danielle has treated Lindsay all season. Because then like, what all the stuff that Danielle has done for her? I'm like, ma'am, she wouldn't be on this show without her. She wouldn't still be on this show. Let me just say that. Because she had an end. Who else was she filming with except for Lindsay? And then it turned to all the stuff that I have done for you. How many sandwiches have you made for me? That's kind of how it feels. I'm optimistic anything can be fixed, but it only can be fixed if people meet each other halfway. Because let's be very clear, y'all were the three amigos. Carl is also your friend. How do you think this makes him feel? He just feels very hurt. He's like, the thing, Carl's ready to like, I'm out. I ain't doing this. Kind of don't blame him. But the dissolution of the summer house and how unfun this season was really was not because of Lindsay, but Lindsay is all y'all could talk about. Not funny, haha, funny, weird. Y'all, let me put a pin in this Solo Dolo Mocha episode. And let's get on to it. So guys, thank you for listening, and I will be back. Woo! So thank you for listening. Also, if you'd be so inclined, want to buy me a coffee, that'd be great. Thank you. If you want to hit my Cash App, Mocha Sunshine 99. But guys, have a great rest of your week. Bye. Wow. Got to do with it. Wow. but a second-hand emotion. What's that got to do with it? Who needs a heart when a heart when can be broken?